I paid my dues, time after time. Take out my sentence, but committed no crime. And bad mistakes I made a few. I had my share of sun kissed my face, but I
the ball in play, stopped in the front end. First one to get to it. Looks like it's going to be Laprida. Laprida coming out of there with it. Laprida trying to keep it away from Santi. Laprida and Santi get hung up, but Torres gets the ball turned back around. Santi, Torres. Giving it back over to Sapo. Sapo Cassette moving that ball forward. Sapo checking down now, being defended by Garbarini. Sapo now lets that horse open up, running to the right-hand side. That is, yeah. Sapo Cassette has the ball, but the whistle sounds. Sapo Cassette now makes his approach, hits that ball right over, and it's Tommy Collingwood to knock it down. Collingwood keeps that ball moving forward. Now Tommy leaves it behind. And it's going to be Garbarini with the little back shot. Coming in to pick up the play now is Santi Torres, but the ball is stolen and the whistle sounds.
Is that basketball umpires in general that play?
All right, so spot hit goes in favor of Valiente. He puts that ball along the ground, Sapo. And it's picked up once again by Tommy Collingwood. Collingwood picking that ball up now on the near side, taking it forward, being defended against by Sapo Cassette. Tommy leaves the play behind, where it's going to be Magoo Laprida to pick it up. Magoo, Laprida, and Zinni come together. But Laprida keeps that ball. Magoo now gets it past midfield, over on the far side of the boards. Laprida checking down now, working his way back to the middle, fires a pass up there, looking for one of his offensive players, and it's going to be backed by Bob. Bob's back shot over to the boards. Now it's stolen away, picked up once again by, can't quite tell this yet, Sapo Cassette. Sapo gets that ball turned underneath his horse's neck and turns it, running it back down the far side of the field. Sapo letting that horse open up, goes to run past everybody. Sapo Cassette finds the ball, finds the horse, and can he get away from the defending player? Looking good so far, sends that ball back into the goal mouth, but Collingwood is there. Tommy takes that ball across the goal mouth, dangerously over, and hits the boards. Tommy shutting down, feet on the dashboard, takes that ball, hits it into the boards, and the whistle sounds. From the spot goes in favor of Palm Beach Illustrated. Magoo Laprida bringing the ball into play. Magoo now finding some running room to the left-hand side of the field. Magoo keeping it to himself, surveying his team there. Now decides to run it back through the middle of the pack to the right, in between two white jerseys. He fires that ball past midfield, trying to get it down there for Jared. Jared Zinni is there. Jared picks the ball up. Thank God. Jared sends that ball into the goal mouth. Zinni right there. Jared looking good. And his shot carries that ball straight on through. Now making the score 2-0 here at Chuck. All right, the ball's back into play. Who's got control of it here? Looks like it's going to be Obregon. He loses the play. Where it's going to be picked up now by Santi Torres. Santi, his shot jumps over the boards. All right, the ball's back into play once again. Zinni has control of it. Jared Zinni in between two white jerseys, looking good. Jared now sends Tommy Collingwood forward, and it's going to be Magoo Laprida. Laprida tries to get a hold of it, couldn't quite do it. Coming in now is Obregon. Facundo Obregon taking it past the 9-goaler. Facundo still has control. On that pretty gray horse. Taps the ball back into play. Sapo taking it right down the middle of the field. Collingwood waiting for him. Sapo crushes that ball to the right-hand side, looking for one of his offensive players, but Collingwood is there first. Collingwood gives the play over to Magoo Laprida. Laprida picking that ball up on the fly, sending his players forward, but Magoo looks like he's going to drop his head and take this one in himself. Laprida now fires the ball along the ground, but it's going to be just wide over the back line, so we'll have a knock-in on the left-hand side of the goal, down on the north end of the field. Santi Torres brings the ball into play. Santi looking to catch everybody sleeping. Now, lets that horse open up, running through the pack. Santi on the far side of the field, gets that ball moving just past midfield now. He checks up, waiting for some help from his players. Santi Torres still there, sends. Garbarini forward, thank you. But the ball is left behind where it's going to be picked up by Sapo Cassette. Sapo sending the ball back down the middle to Garbarini. Garbarini picks it up on the near side. Garbarini right there. Garbarini, his shot deflected, and it's going to be picked up and walked straight on through by Sapo Cassette. Sapo getting it. All right, and the ball's back into play once again. Sapo Cassette gets hooked on the play and loses the ball to Obregon. Obregon turns that ball back around underneath, or excuse me, back to the right. Now Obregon tries to fire that ball back out, but Sapo is there to pick it up. Sapo has control. Sapo fires it down, looking for one of his offensive players coming in is Garbarini. Garbarini right there, tapping that ball, looking good. Walks it straight through the middle of the post. Now tying it up, 2 goals apiece. Here at Chucker number 1, just a... All right, umpire asking for a proper throw in here. Once both teams on their side of the line. All right, the ball's back into play just like that. Who's going to win this throw? And looks like it's going to be Sapo Cassette. Sapo checking down now, leaves the play for Santi Torres. Santi can't quite get there. It's going to be stolen away by Magoo Laprida. Laprida trying to make something happen right here in between the 30-second mark. He flips it over to the near side. Magoo Laprida. Now Sapo is there for the defensive back shot, but Collingwood comes in and picks it up on the near side. Collingwood flips it back over to Zenny. Zenny trying to get back to it. Collingwood now on the near side, dragging the ball forward. And it looks like somebody, Magoo, flipped that ball straight on through, take it back. All right, the ball's in play. Game's back underway. Magoo tries to steal it away from Santi Torres. Santi still has that ball moving down to the north, looking good, running through the traffic, takes the ball out of the air. Over Tommy Collingwood. Collingwood, though, comes in and steals the play away. Collingwood taking that ball forward, loses it on the bounce. And it's going to be Obregon to pick up the play. Obregon now leaves that ball for Magoo Laprida. Magoo checking down now, working his way back in through the traffic, tries to get through. Can't quite do it. Sapo wins the play, steals the ball away and sends it back down to the north goal once again. Sapo Cassette, good approach shot right there. Will it go? On its own without another tap. Yes, it does. Tying it back up, 3 goals apiece here in Chucker number 2. All right, the ball's back into play once again. Tommy with the defensive back shot, sending it out of the throw-in. Right down there looking for Magoo Laprida. Laprida jumps on that loose ball. Magoo running hard. Sapo trying to catch him. Laprida in the goal mouth. Magoo Laprida takes that ball straight through the middle of the uprights once again. Now making the score 4-3 here in Chucker number 2. Taking back the lead and breaking that. All right, umpire puts the ball back into play once again. Let's see. It is Garbarini. Thank you. Garbarini loses that play to Magoo Laprida. Laprida, he's hot. He's already scored once in this Chucker. He loses the play, though, to Sapo Cassette. Sapo taking it around the long way. Sapo loses it back to Magoo Laprida. Laprida taking that ball underneath his horse's neck. Laprida fires a next shot from the corner. Will it go? Whoa, he put just a little too much angle. Sapo Cassette taps the ball back in play. Sapo now fires it one time right down the middle looking for Santi Torres. Santi has a step on his man. Picks that ball up on the fly. It's got some hang time. Santi finds the ball. Ooh, doesn't find it on the bounce though. And it's going to be Obregon for the defensive play. looks like it will be defended. But it's going to be wide over the back line to the right, so we'll have a knock-in by Palm Beach Illustrated. Magoo Laprida taps the ball back into play. Laprida finding some room to work with back over to the left-hand side. All kinds of real estate now. Umpire trying to get out of his way. Laprida taking his time, looking for his players. Laprida keeping it to himself. Now works his way back to the middle of the pack, but Santi comes in. Santi holding him up. And Obregon takes that ball back to the left. Obregon sending it down. He's got Collingwood way down the field. Obregon sends that ball down into the goal mouth. Collingwood running hard to get there. Collingwood picks up the whistle, so we'll see where the umpires decide. Palm Beach Illustrated. Obregon walks up and puts it straight on through to increase the gap and now make the score 5-3. Shutner number 2, just under 3.5 minutes left to go. All right, the ball's put back into play once again. Zinni fires that ball forward, trying to get it over to Magoo Laprida. Laprida is there to pick up the play. He leaves the ball behind, and Sapo Cassette now steals the ball. Sapo checking down. Cassette on the boards. Over there by Claude's car. Sapo dragging it forward now. Keeps it to the right of the defender. Now Sapo fires a big shot down the field, looking for one of his offensive players, but it's going to be Tommy Collingwood for the defense. Collingwood, his shot goes over the board, so we'll have a throw in. All right, umpire puts the ball back into play. Who's going to get there? Looks like the umpire's whistle is going to break up the action. Umpire blowing his whistle, asking everybody to stay on their side, so he can have an alleyway to put the ball back into play, which he does so now. And it's going to be picked up, and again, another quick whistle. Exactly. Just like Sapo Cassette rides up, puts that ball not high enough. It's still on the field. And Santi picks the ball up out of the air. Excuse me, that was Obregon. But it's going to be taken out of there now by Obregon. Obregon taking that ball across the field, checking down now, shutting the horse down, trying to get some help there from Laprida. Laprida trying to keep the man off of Obregon. Obregon now dragging that ball back to the middle of the field. Obregon. All right, ooh, the ball's in play and stolen just like that by Santi Torres. Santi all by himself, completely alone, sends that ball down into the red zone. Santi shutting down. Can he get there? Torres. Never doubts. All right, Laprida taps the ball back into play. Magoo, Laprida now takes it back to the left-hand side. Laprida working his way back to the right through the traffic. Laprida keeping that ball to himself, letting him open up. Magoo, Laprida, he's got Collingwood going down there. Laprida taking that ball out of the air, finally leaves it behind, and it's going to be Sapo Cassette to come in and pick up the play. Sapo gets it turned all the way back around. Jared Zinni takes a swipe at it, but Cassette still has the play. Sapo leaves it behind, and it's back by Collingwood. Coming in, Zinni is there. Jared Zinni drags that ball forward, keeping it away from Garbarini. Zinni dragging it forward, trying to keep it away from the two white jerseys. Obregon sends that ball straight through, ending. That's true. All right, the ball's back into play. Right there, Obregon makes the back shot back into the pack. Tommy fighting for it. And Laprida comes in, but the whistle's sound. In favor of Valiente. Sapo Cassette taps that ball twice, puts it along the ground, and Laprida is there to pick up the new line. Laprida has control now. Laprida checking down, waiting for those defenders to commit. All right, Sapo taps that ball back into play. Sapo takes it back to the left and cuts that ball high in the air, but not quite the angle he wanted on that one. It'll go wide, so we'll have a Palm Beach Illustrated knock-in down at the north end of the field. Magoo Laprida brings the ball back into play. Laprida tapping it, now working it back to the right-hand side, trying to keep it away from, let's see, Laprida still has control. Laprida now hits a little neck shot, getting it down there for Obregon. Obregon fighting, trying to keep that ball working forward. Obregon checks up, Santi is there. Santi Torres puts some pressure on both of them. Santi breaks the play up, but the whistle sounds. This is penalty 5 from the middle, hits him one time, and Sapo is there to break up the play, getting the line, turning the ball back around. Sapo gets that ball moving out. Sapo Cassette lets that horse open up. He's going to run it past Magoo Laprida. Sapo checks down, waiting for his players to go forward for the pass. Sapo still has control, moves it just back over. Tommy Collingwood comes in to challenge, but Sapo works that ball back over to the left-hand side of the field. Sapo working his way back to the middle, but it's going to be Sapo with the open back shot into a horse, and he wins the play back now, puts the ball along the back line. Santi Torres comes out of there with the ball and hits it down the board. Jared Zenny gets that ball, sending it way down the field, coming in for the defense is Bob Jernavis. Jernavis checks down, couldn't quite get back to it, and Zenny is there. Zenny sending that ball way past midfield, back to the middle, trying to run around Bob. Zenny finds some running room, he's on a racehorse, sends that ball back to the middle. Zenny, can he get there? Jared Zenny! Obregon bears down on that ball, hits it high in the air, but it's off to the right. So we'll have a knock-in by Valiente. All right, Sapo sends that ball high in the air, right down the middle, looking for Santi Torres. Santi picks the ball up on the bounce. Santi fires it down there, looking for Bob Jernavis. Jernavis jumps on that line. He's being chased down by Jared Zenny. Bob Jernavis right there, gets some help from his horse, and sends that ball straight through the middle of the uprights, and now making the score 6-4 here. Umpire puts the ball back into play, Tommy with a little back shot, and it's going to be Sapo Cassette. Sapo leaves the play behind, Zenny comes in, and the whistle sounds. Umpire calls play. Sapo now makes his approach, taps that ball back into play. Sapo tapping it once, now twice. Looking for a place to go. Sapo finds some running from the right-hand side of the field. Sapo being defended by Magoo Laprida. Laprida comes in to put pressure on Sapo. Laprida. And the ball is picked up by Torres. Santi Torres running it to the right. Santi now tries to fire it back to the goal mouth. Santi can't quite get back there, and it's going to be number 2 for Valiente. Sapo rides up, puts it right through the middle of the goal, closing the gap to within 1, making the score 6-5. Umpire asking for a proper throw-in. Now he puts the ball back into play. It stopped right there in the middle. Who's going to come out of there with it? Looks like it is Torres. Now Obregon with the old fakearoo back shot there, gets a turn and fires the ball down the right-hand side. Santi gets a piece of it though, and Zenny comes in. Zenny dragging that ball forward. Jared Zenny gets hooked, but gets through the hook. Zenny looking good, running it to the right. Oh, and Santi puts a big bump on him and gets the near side back shot. Coming in, Collingwood changing the line, breaking up the play, but Garbarini comes in. Garbarini reaches back, still has control of the ball. Garbarini working it forward, now gives it back over to Santi, or excuse me, Sapo Cassette. Sapo gets through that hook. Sapo gets the ball past midfield. Sapo letting that horse open up, looking to run around Laprida. Sapo now fires at the goal, but it's going to be just wide to the right over the back line, so we'll have a knock-in by Palm Beach Illustrated on the Obregon tapped into play and then gave it over to Laprida. Laprida now finds a lot of room to work with over to the left-hand side of the field. Nobody's on him just yet. Laprida goes ahead, fires that ball way down the middle of the field where he's got Tommy Collingwood waiting. Collingwood picks that ball up on the fly. Collingwood by himself down there. Collingwood takes that ball, sending it right through the middle of the upright and increasing the gap, making the score now 7-5 here in chucker number 3. All right, the ball's back into play, picked up by Tommy Collingwood right there, but the whistle sounds with Sapo Cassette. Taps the ball into play, Sapo. Sends that ball over to the right-hand side, looking for Santi Torres. Santi finds the ball, finds the horse now, tries to send it back down for Sapo. Sapo couldn't quite get the no, but it's going to be Santi. Santi running his way through the pack, running low on time. Santi Torres right there. Can he do it? Santi sends that ball straight on through, ending the chucker, closing the gap, making
She's like eating all this.
yeah, the ball. All right, the ball's back in play. Sapo has control, turning it all the way underneath the horse, but we have a whistle. All right. Laprida sends that ball down, and Collingwood comes in and picks it up on the near side. Tommy Collingwood took the ball forward now, sends it along the back line, but it's going to be picked up by Obregon. Obregon fighting. And Garbarini comes in and takes the ball. Garbarini sending it down, trying to avoid the umpire. Garbarini gets that ball going, hits it on the heel of his mallet, sending it over to the board. Now, coming in. Whoa. Shot on goal. Sapo Cassette makes the approach. Now, bears down on it. It's knocked out of the air. Where it's going to be picked up by Tommy, I do. Collingwood leaves it now for Laprida. Laprida fighting against Santi Torres. Santi wins the play, takes the ball, turning it back around the long way through everybody, running his way through the pack now. Santi trying to make something happen right here. Santi checks down, and it's going to be Santi Torres still on it, trying to work his way through all the traffic. Santi right there gets hooked, and Jared Zinni steals that ball away. Zinni sends it down, but it's back right over there into the goal mouth, and open back shot right through the middle of the goal. All right, the ball's put back in play. It stopped right there in the middle. Santi Torres has control. Santi dragging it forward, forcing Obregon to get out of his way. Torres now tapping that ball forward. Torres, whoop, topped that ball, but comes back and picks up the line. Santi now running it down the field. It's stolen away by Laprida. Laprida still has control, dragging that ball forward on the near side. Laprida in between two white jerseys. Now Laprida still has control on the near side, keeping it moving forward. Look at that, past midfield now, keeping it going, working his way down the south, working hard for this one. He finally leaves the ball behind, and it's going to be picked up by Obregon. Working his way down. Obregon in that pack, trying to break free. All right, so Sapo Cassette takes his penalty fire from the spot. Sapo taps it 3 times, now 4. Sapo hits that ball down to the right. Sapo his shot down there for Garbarini. Garbarini tries to take it out of the air, tries to get back to it, can't quite do it, and it's going to be Zinni to leave it for Laprida. Now, Obregon tries to get there, but it's Santi Torres. Santi gives it back over to Sapo. Sapo Cassette in the goal mouth, checking down. Sapo looks like he wants to run it through. He loses the play, and Garbarini makes a little back shot, but it's going to be taken out of there by Zinni. Jared Zinni tries to make it happen, can't quite do it. It's going to be Santi Torres once again. Santi over on the boards, turning that ball back to the middle, trying to run his way along the back line. Santi still has control. Now, finding some room to run, getting out of there. Santi Torres Santi checking down, waiting for Jared to make a play, but it's going to be Garbarini. Garbarini now picks up the ball. Garbarini, next shot coming. Or near side open. That'll work too. And... okay. Sapo took a shot, and now it's going to be Obregon with the tail shot into the goal mouth right over to Tommy Collingwood. Collingwood can't get a hold of that ball, but he's backed up by Jared Zinni. Zinni sending it down to Tommy once again. Tommy picks that ball up nicely on the near side. Collingwood taking it forward past midfield, working both sides of his horse. Bob comes in, tries to make a defensive play. Tommy still on that ball, now leaves it behind. And it's going to be a back shot by Garbarini. Garbarini shot right over there, and Santi Torres comes in. Torres dragging that ball forward to the boards. Torres shuts down, pushing it underneath the defender, leaves it for Sapo Cassette. Sapo sends it over. Torres comes in, picks up the man. All right, Obregon brings that ball back into play, now leaving it behind for Collingwood. Collingwood comes in, taking it around the defender. Santi Torres running hard to get there. Collingwood still has control of that ball, working his way back to the middle. Collingwood running hard, shoots a next shot at the goal. It's knocked down by Garbarini. What a play right there, though. Walks up to him, puts that ball along the ground, and it went through the post. So breaking the tie, taking back the lead and making the score 8-7. All right, the ball's back in play. Tommy with the open back shot, setting up Bogu Laprida. Laprida comes in, picks that ball up on the near side. Laprida leaves it behind now, and it's going to be picked up by Garbarini. Garbarini taking the ball over to the boards, trying to give it over to Sapo, but he still has control now. Santi Torres. Santi puts that ball underneath the player, forcing him to get out of the way. Now Santi sends the ball along the boards right over for Garbarini. Garbarini trying to make something happen here. And Obregon has control. Obregon with that ball fighting against Sapo. Sapo putting the pressure on Obregon. Obregon, though, slips past him. Now, Facundo Obregon gets past midfield. Obregon letting that horse open up, trying to run through all the traffic. Obregon looking good. Facundo leaves the ball behind, and Santi Torres is there. Santi with the tail shot, setting up Sapo Cassette. Sapo doesn't get to the ball. Magu Laprida does. Laprida sends it to the boards. Now Laprida with the fake back shot, turns it underneath his horse's neck, and the whistle sounds. Or not, that's cool too. All right, the ball's back into play. Sapo sends it down the middle, looking for Garbarini. Garbarini picks that ball up, hitting it past midfield, sending it down, looking for Bob. Bob can't quite get back to the line, and it's going to be Obregon trying to pick up the ball. Obregon taking it forward. Obregon keeping it to himself. Garbarini comes in. Garbarini drags that ball forward. Now leaves it behind, and it's going to be Bogu Laprida. Laprida tries to connect, just tops it. Magu running it through the pack. 30 seconds remain. Magu Laprida gets crushed on the bump, and the ball goes just wide over the back line. So Sapo coming around to bring the ball back into play to start chucker number 5. Sapo Cassette taps that ball back into play. Cassette with the pump fake now. Keeps it moving forward now, sends a next shot back over there looking for Santi Torres. Santi comes together with Obregon. Obregon rides in, gets that ball, cuts it back around, and Sapo is there to take the ball out of the goal mouth. Sapo Cassette, his shot straight across the boards where Tommy Collingwood is waiting. Tommy with the open back shot right over to Magu. Laprida checking down now. Laprida sending it back. Laprida trying to keep it away from Cassette. Laprida Obregon walks up to that penalty number 2, sends it along the ground right through the middle of the uprights, and now making this. All right, the ball's back in the play. Laprida jumps in there, steals that ball on the near side. Laprida keeping it, working down the field on the near side. Laprida now checks down, moves it back to the left. He's got Torres on his side. Laprida sends the ball back. He finds it. But the first one to run over and pick it up is going to be Garbarini. Garbarini drags that ball forward over to the board. Garbarini now leaves it for Sapo. Sapo working it back to the middle. Cassette now hits that ball down the right-hand side looking for Santi Torres. Santi letting that horse open up. Santi avoiding the hook right there from Obregon. Santi flips it back to the middle. Picks that ball up nicely on the near side. Santi trying to get back to it, but Zinni comes in and makes the back shot. Now, Obregon, Facundo, keeping that ball off the back line. Facundo loses control of the play. Bob makes a little back shot. And it's going to be Tommy Collingwood to come in and pick it up. Now, Obregon steals the ball away from his own player and sends it way down the field once again. Obregon looking good, letting that horse open up. Facundo, Obregon gets it past midfield, centering that ball back up. What a nice approach, all by himself. He's got Jared Zinni blocking the man for him. Obregon looking good. Obregon sends that ball straight on through, getting the double digits and now making the score 10-7 here in Sugar number. All right, the ball's back into play. Sapo Cassette wins the throw and it takes that ball underneath his horse's neck, working it back past midfield. Magoo Laprida breaking hard. Now, Sapo checks down and gets the best of his man, sending it back around. Coming in for the defense is Obregon. Obregon makes a little back shot, but it's going to be Magoo Laprida. Laprida hits that ball way down past midfield, looking for an offensive player. Coming in for the defense, though, is Garbarini. Garbarini checks down and, overrides, leaves that ball for Zinni to pick up. Zinni leaves it behind now for Magoo Laprida. And it's going to be backed once again. Coming in is Magoo Laprida. Laprida dragging it forward and the whistle sounds. Sapo Cassette comes in, taps that ball back into play. Sapo working the ball to himself, keeping it now. Loses control, and it's going to be Obregon to pick up the play. Obregon flips it back over for Laprida. Laprida can't get a hold of it. And open back shot looking for Sapo Cassette. Sapo flips it underneath the defender. Now Sapo in between two black jerseys. Sapo gets away from Zinni. Now Sapo working his way back down the middle of the field. He's got Magoo Laprida defending. Now Tommy comes in, steals that ball away, and takes it forward. Collingwood keeping it to himself, working it along the far boards. Collingwood keeps it away from the defender. Now switches to the near side. Can't quite get there. It's going to be Magoo Laprida to back him up. Laprida, whoops, leaves the ball behind. And Cassette is there. Sapo gets that ball turned all the way back around, trying to get it back over to Torres, but it's back. And Bob picks the ball up on the fly. What a nice play. Bob Ternavic's shot straight across to the boards. Bob now flips it underneath his horse's neck. Bob leaves it behind, and Obregon is there to pick up the play. Obregon sends the ball down looking for Magoo Laprida. Laprida gives up the line to Sapo Cassette. Sapo with the tail shot, sending it back over. Approach now. Facundo, his shot, it's high and straight through the middle. Now all right, umpire puts the ball back into play. It looks like it is Santi Torres winning that throw, and Santi running that ball down, trying to keep it away. He gets some help from his horse right there. Santi comes back in, picks that ball up, running past Collingwood. Santi Torres working hard. Can't quite get to it, and it's going to be backed out of there by Magoo Laprida. Laprida, his shot to be picked up now by Sapo Cassette. Sapo checking down, waiting for the man to commit. Sapo takes it around the long way. Sapo working his way back to the middle of the goal. Checking down now. Sapo loses control, where it's going to be taken by Facundo Obregon. Obregon working that ball across the field to the boards. Obregon, next shot, sends it down along the boards, looking for Magoo Laprida. Laprida finds that ball on the near side, leaves it behind now, and Sapo Cassette comes in and picks up the play. Sapo with the open back shot, trying to set up Santi Torres. Santi comes in, picks the ball up on the near side. Look, he's balancing up. And it's going to be Garbarini, no? Who's got control? Sapo Cassette does. Sapo now works it back underneath the horse's neck. Back to the middle. Tries to fake takes the turn and keeps it going back under the horse's neck, back to the center of the field. Sapo let that horse open up. Sapo, Cassette, looking good, just past midfield now. Sapo sends it back, looking for Garbarini. Garbarini comes in. Garbarini can't quite get there. Zinni does. Zinni takes it across the field to the boards. Jared Zinni puts that ball over the boards, out of play, so that'll end chucker number 5. All right, the umpires put the ball into play. Jared Zinni with the back shot, sitting it down. Favor of Valiente. Sapo Cassette tapping the ball back into play. Sapo has control. Sapo now loses the play to Obregon, but the whistle sounds once again. Sapo rides up, puts that ball between the 2 posts, and now makes the score. All right, the ball's back into play. It stopped in the middle right there. Tommy trying to get to it. Tommy Collingwood has the line. Taps it forward. Now Collingwood getting ridden wide by, well, Santi Torres is there. Santi with the open back shot. Garbarini coming in to pick up the play. Garbarini has it moving forward, but Torres is there. Or, excuse me, Obregon gets that back shot. Coming in, Bob sends that ball down looking for Sapo Cassette. Sapo picks the ball up, but loses the play. And it's going to be picked up by Obregon. Obregon taking it across the back line. Now, Obregon working his way down. Tommy Collingwood is there. Collingwood. They've got the ball on the board. He's getting up to it. Now it looks like it's going to be Obregon. Santi Torres. Santi has control. Santi sending it through 2 red helmets there. Santi still has control, running his way through the pack. Santi working hard to make this one happen. Torres sends it just wide of the goal. All right, Magoo Laprida taps the ball back into play. Oops, but Laprida catches the top of it. Still keeps control though. Laprida now working his way back to the right-hand side of the field. Laprida sends that ball down. Looking for Tommy Collingwood. Collingwood picking it up on the fly. His shot goes past midfield over to the boards. Collingwood checking down now, being defended by Bob Janavis. Collingwood taking it straight forward. Tommy now leaves that bouncing ball where it's going to be Garbarini. Garbarini tapping it forward. Garbarini loses the play, and we have a whistle stopping the clock. To take this penalty number 5 from the middle. Sapo taps it into play. Cassette now one time sends it through the middle of the pack. Jared Zinni has control of the ball though. Zinni decides to turn it, keeping it to himself, taking that ball across the field to the board. Zinni now checking down. Zinni takes that ball forward, still on the field, but it's going to be picked up by Garbarini, and the whistle sounds. 31 left on the clock. All right, so the ball's back into play once again. Sapo Cassette is there. Sapo gets that ball turned back to the south. Sapo checking down. He's got Magoo Laprida on his hips. Sapo, though, turns it back around. Now facing the goal. Sapo looking to work his way through the traffic. Sapo Cassette leaves it for Santi Torres. Santi dragging that ball, working it through the pack. Santi tries to run through. Couldn't quite get it done, and Zinni is there to pick up the play. Zinni gets hooked, but it's stolen by Santi Torres. Santi out of the air, now leaves it behind. Jared Zinni trying to get back to it. Sorry, I was listening to him. And Magoo Laprida is there. Laprida takes that ball forward over to the boards. Magoo Laprida hits it one time, using those boards, letting it come off the boards, trying to make something happen. Laprida tries to take it forward on the near side, couldn't quite get it done, and Obregon is there to follow him up. Tommy Collingwood takes that ball, giving it back over to Obregon. Obregon can't get to it, and Tommy Collingwood picks up the pieces once again. Collingwood, his shot stolen now by Bob Jernavis. Jernavis leaves it for Garbarini, whose shot goes over the board, so we'll have a throw-in. Umpire puts the ball back in, it stopped in the middle. Tommy Collingwood is there. Collingwood winning the play. Collingwood gets hooked, and the mallet is broken. Santi with the tail shot. First one to see the play is Jared. Jared's in, he gets that ball turned around, and Sampo comes in and steals it away. Sampo, cassette, sending Santi forward. Sampo reaching back. He's still got control of the ball. He's being defended though. It's going to be Magula Prida with a little back shot. Sampo picks it up on the near side. Sampo, cassette, working his way back to the goal mouth, trying to make it happen. He leaves the ball behind, and Obregon is there. Obregon gets that ball, working out of there. Facundo Obregon by himself on a breakaway now, gets past midfield. Santi chasing him down, but Obregon all by himself. Obregon now inside the 60. He's inside the red zone, looking good. Obregon, oh, his shot goes just wide of the goal, so we'll have a knock. Santi Torres comes in and knocks the ball back into play. Torres on a fresh horse, lets that horse open up. Torres keeping it to himself, working his way down the far side of the field. Santi checking up, reaching back. He's got that ball along the boards, trying to outrun Magula Prida, looking good so far. Santi keeps it moving forward, now tries to take it on the near side, leaves the ball behind, and Obregon is there. Obregon leaves the ball, and Collingwood is there. Oops. Must be a back or something there. Now it's taken away by Sampo Cassette. Sampo in between two black jerseys. Cassette leaving it behind, and Magula Prida clears that ball out of danger. Prida shot over to the far side of the field to the boards. Coming in is going to be Bob Jernavis. Bob decides to take it around, keeping it to himself. Bob working his way back to the middle of the goal. Bob in the middle of the pack, still looking good. Jernavis can't quite get away from Zinni, and it's going to be Obregon. Facundo Obregon, 56 seconds left on the clock. Obregon hits a nice neck shot down the boards where he gets hooked, and it's Sampo Cassette. Cassette keeping it working forward, trying to keep it away from Obregon. Obregon putting pressure on him. Now, Sampo can't quite get there. And it's going to be Garbarini. Garbarini turning it back around, 30 seconds remaining. Garbarini looking to put one more on the board before the end of the chucker. He sends it down just to the left of the goal. And the ball goes over the back of
it was the Nathan Hill raid line where she started, and then they used to